We on. Back at it, Generation Us. Back at it again. And so I'm old, the futuristic baby boomer.
I'm Sherman, the booming boomer.
The booming boomer.
That's right.
We've got a couple of recurring folks that are back and been with us before. We got my man Vic.
I'm Vic.
Back in the house.
Just Vic.
And we have Idrienne back.
Idrienne
is back. And our resident co-host is, taking a step back so that we can let this conversation flow. And again, the topic of the day, or for the month, is Joe Biden has recently stepped out of the election. He's dropped out. Kamala Harris looks like his number 2. He's endorsed her. And it looks like we're going to have a presidential race between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris and whoever she picks as vice president. So the question is, are you happy? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. All right. Or are you concerned? Worried?
Is
Joe Biden even still the president?
Yeah,
yes, he's the president. He's talking about, but he's not. He may not be sure. He might not be sure. No, but he's in his. He's doing exactly what he was doing right before it all happened. So he's sleeping to death.
So Donald Trump is basically the Secret Service has a new name for him.
What? Orange head?
Donald Duck.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not bad. I mean, that bullet. And let me say one thing about that. I'm very happy that he was not killed.
Yeah.
Right?
I am too.
Because, had that bullet been slightly to the right, he'd be dead, and we'd have a whole shitstorm happening right now. That would be very bad.
I'm angry he got shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm angry he got shot, but I'm happy he wasn't dead, and he's still the unpleasant individual that he currently is.
I think I was unhappy for all the wrong reasons, right? That he got shot, because I thought, and I think I'm right, that when he got shot and he rose up from the dead, that they would say he was a martyr, and they would say that his presidency is divine. God saved his life. And that really gave him a bump.
Yeah.
It gave him some, it was kind of mysterious,
He got some riz.
He did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
It made the Republican convention a thing to watch.
Yeah.
And a thing to be tuned into. He flubbed it at the end, I think.
Yeah.
His speech was less than even interesting.
Well, he still is him. You know what I mean? And one thing he did say is that, everybody thought I should change because I almost died and, I should be nice. I'm not. I'm not going to be nice. I'm going to be who I am. Now, what's interesting to me is, I'll be honest with you, after the Republican convention, he almost got killed. And the thought of Joe Biden going against him after that debate performance, I thought it was a wrap. I mean, I thought it was a wrap. Yeah. And when the forces prevailed, and as they like to say, the party bosses came and took Joe to the side and said, Joe,
I'll take you out back.
First of all, it's Thursday. Joe, it's Thursday. Joe, Thursday. And then he got him to go ahead and step down, and he endorsed Kamala. I have been significantly energized and optimistic about the possibility. Now, a couple things that were just mentioned before we came on, I want to probe a little bit. Now, my good brother here to my right said he's not sure that Kamala is the right person to take on and beat Trump. Is that right?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
And so
I think that we're already in a pretty divisive state, meaning the country. We're already pretty divided. And in as much as I support, a minority woman running for president, I think if you just look at the context of the situation, it's definitely not the thing that's going to bring people, the country at least, together. So from that standpoint, I'm like, I don't love it at this point in time.
Why? Because she's a minority or because she's a woman?
I think it's both.
A white male Gavin Newsom or Mark Kelly.
Again, hold on. So before this gets racial, right? Let's step back. I'm not saying it because I think there's something wrong with her being black. I'm saying it if you look at the context. We're a divided nation. Race is a hot button topic for this country, and now what you're saying is you want a double minority to run for president. That, to me, if I'm looking strategically, pushes the likelihood that Trump gets reelected. That's what I think.
Well, why don't we just look at the numbers? I don't think that's true at all. She's gained a lot of support since she started. I think a lot of people forget that she ran in 2019 and had a lot of support then. I also think that a lot of times when female minorities take a position that's not typically held by that particular group, nobody is ever ready for it until we absolutely need someone. You know, black females have been the backbone of the Democratic Party, and it's like you don't need black women until everything's gone to crap, and now you really need them. I think that she's more than qualified and more than capable, and I think that her time in the office should be welcomed by everyone that considers themselves a Democrat.
Okay, so
Hillary thought very similarly.
Hillary and Kamala are completely different people.
I understand, but she said, "Look at the data."
Yeah,
she's gained so much support. I mean, look at the amount of money. Not only has she been backed by the Obamas, and she always has been. Like I said, I think it's very important to look at the record. Typically, people who run for a presidential office have something to offer.
Hillary had bill baggage.
So hold on.
She
was district attorney, and then she ran and was twice elected.
Hold on. If this was about qualifications, Trump shouldn't even be in this conversation.
I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's more than right. It's more than qualifications. But to Obren's point, he felt one way, and then Kamala decided that she was going to run, and we've all backed her, and it's gained a lot of support from so many people.
Let me add to the numbers, right? Because I think Idrienne makes a good point. Let's go to the numbers. Consider this: since the 2016 election, when Trump was elected, 20.2 million baby boomers have died. Those voters are gone. A lot of them, white, old, voted for Trump. They ain't here no more. All right? Since the 2016 election, 40 million Gen Zers have aged into voting age. Think about that. Twice as many as baby boomers who've died. And since the midterm in 2022, 8 million new voters have aged into voting, which are young, diverse, progressive. Now, Obama raised $150 million for his entire campaign when he ran at the high water mark. Kamala raised $200 million last week.
Listen, I will tell you that while Joe was still the candidate, I was worried. I didn't feel good. As soon as he stepped down and endorsed Kamala, I felt better. It was nothing I did, right? I just felt better. And you could tell that a lot of people across the nation felt the same way I did, because all of a sudden, boom, there's a presidential election going on, and we need to get involved, and we need to have meetings, and we need to donate, and we need to get new volunteers. 170,000 new volunteers last week.
She represents what we should see as a nation. When you look at someone who you want to be a presidential candidate, and then ultimately someone that you want to be president, you want them to be strong. And that's the reason why you had a problem with Joe Biden. I'm never going to say anything bad about him, because I also think what we sometimes fail to do as Democrats is support people when they are down. I think he's going through some health issues, and that's fine. He shouldn't be a president, but that doesn't mean that we need to disparage him. I think that the country needs a very strong leader. And again, I think that Kamala has shown that. And I think that that's why that's why she's garnered so much support.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Now, I'll be honest with you, and I've mentioned this to Sherman. I didn't think Kamala was likable. And I didn't think that she, quite frankly, had the, she would be appealing to people. However, and I think, I don't think that really matters, because the reality is she's more likable than Trump. And this is what I think this is what I think is activating, right? Because I look at it, the same people that were Trump supporters, still Trump supporters. Die Hard is his Die Hard, right? But when you look at it, women who are really pissed off about being told what they can and cannot do with their bodies, and that's white and women of color, not happy with the abortion piece that the Supreme Court is, and Trump is responsible for that. And they see Kamala as somebody who can do something about it. I think young people are like, Joe was too old, I wasn't going to vote. Now Joe's gone, Kamala, I can vote. Because Trump's old. And if old was my issue, Trump's out, Kamala's in. And she has, her husband is white. You know what I mean? She's diverse. She's inclusive, She's not a diversity, equity, inclusion candidate, but she is diverse.
Why
she
do you
is
say
inclusive.
that?
She's not. Why did I say she's not?
I mean, they're calling her a diversity hire, literally.
Yeah, I think they do that at their peril.
But they do that to many different people. I mean, it's just ridiculous. She's clearly not a diversity hire.
Absolutely.
We've already said that she's more than capable of handling this task, and she's overqualified.
Yeah, well, to some people in the Midwest that my man was talking about, anybody black or Hispanic or female or short is a diversity hire. If you don't look like me,
really,
then you shouldn't have got the job.
But here's the thing, and look, I might, I don't know where my reservation is coming from, because typically I feel I'm usually polarized during election time. I'm like, okay, this person's gonna win, this person's gonna lose. I literally don't know what's gonna happen, and I think I'm not pro either of them, if I'm being completely honest. I really think I'm gonna wait and see. When I listen to some of the things Kamala says,
wait and see who you're gonna vote for, or wait and see what happens.
I think I'm gonna wait and see what's gonna happen in general. I don't think I would ever vote for Trump. I didn't vote for him the last time because I didn't want to go on record voting for him. But I'll be honest, I don't love Kamala. I'll be honest.
Why not? Why don't you like her?
I mean, she says some things that I just quite frankly don't like.
Like what?
And her track record as it relates to the prison system, I don't love that either. I don't necessarily. I mean, her rhetoric on certain things, I'm just gonna be. I don't love it. I think representation matters. I think her being a black woman is important. I think it's a really good thing. And I can be honest, like, I don't know if I align with her on every issue.
But again, the way that we're talking about this is like, we have this great diversity hire. She doesn't, fit all of the things, but we're just going to do it because we don't want this country to go to hell. So we're going to do that. But I think when you say different things, like there are certain specific things that I don't align with, I think you have to name what they are and why you don't like them. She's not a diversity hire. She may be a candidate that you may not like, but if you don't like them, I think we have to properly articulate why. When you vote for a president, just like when you vote for anything, it's like taking a bus. You're never going to get a bus that's going to drop you off right at your house, but you want to get as close as possible. And I think that if you take the Trump bus, you're going to Antarctica. You're going in the wrong direction.
I'm not getting on the Trump bus, one, and two, I'm just saying I'm not as gung-ho about her winning. I think Trump can beat her. I don't know if that
but
has anything to do with.
But that's completely different than what you said earlier, which is that you don't align with some of her perspectives about the prison system, and that's fine all and well, but what are those perspectives and what don't you like about them? I think that's fair. Even if you say, I don't like her because I don't think a woman should be president, that's fine. You can have a discussion around that specific topic. But a lot of times when we have these discussions, we say these general things that don't really mean anything to anyone.
So does that mean you just might not vote?
I mean, I'm gonna quote her. I'll say you one thing, and she said, I want to make it really, really clear. I'm not going to do anything specifically for black people. And my thing is like, I'm not saying that. That's not a problem. I don't know if you need to articulate that, and I definitely don't think you need to articulate it in that way. So when I say like I don't always align with her, I literally mean like she says things. I'm like, I don't know if I love that. I don't know if I'm aligned with that.
When did she say that?
It's on Instagram. You can look at it for yourself.
I didn't ask you that. When Did she say that?
I'll pull up the video. I'll show it to you.
It wasn't since she's been running, right?
It's been since she's been in office.
And also, what does that mean?
And
I don't know.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I don't actually disagree with either. What
You know,
I
that's
didn't
the
agree
reason-
with is the rhetoric.
Well, her saying it, right? Because but Obama didn't do anything specifically for black people.
I agree.
Could not.
You can't.
But he didn't say he wasn't, and he didn't say
my
what.
question
Better
is,
not have
Right.
what is the intention? You don't need to push me aside to appeal to the other side. You see
It's
what I'm
not
saying?
pushing
Like,
you aside. It's not pushing you aside. What it is saying, look, what she's doing is opening the door for other people to come in.
I understand.
I may be black, but I'm not the black president.
I don't
may
like that
be
approach.
black.
I don't like that
But
approach.
I ain't, I'm not here to do things for black people. I'm going to tell you something, though. Donald Trump is there to do things for certain
You
people.
know what I'm saying?
Okay?
She also
And
is
so
more
you
than
can't,
black.
You can't be him and beat him.
I'm not mad that she's not going. You have to watch the video. It was the rhetoric. It was the let's make this really. I'm like, well,
But she has said a lot of things over a long period of time. She's been in the public eye for years. So to take one small piece.
Well, you asked for a specific example.
No,
Like, come on.
No,
I was
no,
trying
no,
to be
no,
general.
I think-
ask me for a specific
No,
example.
right, but I'm just asking for the context around that specific example. And you name that example, and so I'm just commenting back. Like, I get what you're saying, I really do, but again, I think the office of the presidency is more than one specific comment, just like it's more than just one type of ideology. Also,
Of course.
Kamala Harris is more than black. She's also Indian. So
Of course.
Well, wait. That's the question. Is she black?
Well,
funny.
Trump has already.
People are asking that
Trump has
question.
already
Who is
started.
asking that?
Trump has
You're
already
asking
started the
that.
birther.
You've not
They've
heard
already
that?
started the birther question.
You've
They've already
not
started.
heard
They've
the
already started
question-
that. Yeah,
Wait
they've
a
already
minute,
started that.
He's not heard that people are questioning whether or not Kamala's black.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah, because her mother was Asian.
Indian.
Indian, yeah.
her mother immigrated here from India, and her dad,
Jamaican.
her father was Jamaican.
Yeah.
Listen, hold on. So let me say this, because I think I'm like somehow being positioned as I'm on Trump's side, and I'm not. For me,
Well, you came in
Hold
with a
on,
MAGA
wait.
hat.
Wait, stop it. For me, I look at this strategically. For me, it's just strategically. I'm like, is this? I don't like Trump, right? Because my parents are immigrants, right? Like, so he directly, goes after.
He
that
shaded
group.
your folk hard.
Yeah. So I can say honestly, I'm like,
What,
I'm
shithole
not-
countries, right?
I'm
Shithole
not confident if Kamala is going to be able to defeat this guy.
Right,
That's
right,
all I'm
right.
saying.
I'm not either.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not either.
But I am.
It's okay.
And that's
I'm
okay.
not
And
either.
actually, I would love to hear why, because I need convincing, because I'm worried. I'm actually worried.
And you know what? And I think we should be worried. Because let me tell you this. This is the reality. And I made this point earlier today. We need to turn out the way we turned out for Barack Obama.
Yes.
All right? I mean, and not once, but twice. And the blueprint is already there. You can't, say, oh, well, I'm not. No. Because I'm telling you, I will tell you that during the entire time that Trump was president, the chaos that ensued on a daily basis. Every day I woke up
It was exciting.
exciting
times.
Every day I woke up tired to see what in the hell is happening today. Let me tell you something, man. I had to birth the genesis of an ulcer that was growing by the time his ass got out. And I don't need that chaos again. And quite frankly, now he knows how he's going to run it when he gets back in. All right. And let me just tell this. Everybody sitting around this table, we not in his short list of who going to benefit. Okay. Project 25 is very clear about what they want to do and how they want to do it. So, I mean, you can not like Kamala. She can be not likable. She could be potentially Indian, Asian, Pan-Pacific, BIPOC, whatever. She ain't Trump.
She got my vote, so let's just make that clear. I think it's just, we can also be frank about the
Yeah,
situation.
no, we need to be. This is what this is about. This be really critical. Can she win? And what does it take for her to win? And
Can she win?
Yeah. Can she win?
Can she win?
Run, Jesse, run.
I don't know everything about everything, obviously.
You don't
and
know
I'm
if you can win?
someone that's in politics. I do think it's possible for her to win. And I think that we as people, if you consider yourself a Democrat, then it's important to think about things from that perspective, that she can win.
She's going to beat the brakes off of Trump.
I do think she
think so?
will.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So I think that she, not only can she win, I think that it's highly likely that she will win if she's got to nail her VP pick.
Yes,
All
I do
right?
think
She's got to
that.
nail that.
I do think
And
that.
then on top of that, you know, so I had breakfast with my dad this morning. Got something for you. And I showed him a video, 8 minutes long, of Kamala when she was questioning Bill Barr back when she was a senator. And my dad fell out laughing. He's like, why is he looking over his shoulder? It looked like he's trying to leave. She crawled up in Bill Barr's ass like, I'm telling you, when you talk about strength, there's no doubt she has the strength to be a leader. When you talk about intelligence, ain't no question she has the intelligence to be a leader. When you talk about understanding women's issues and being an advocate for women to be able to be in control of their own bodies, ain't no question she has that. She's diverse. She understands immigrant parents. Her parents were immigrants. She understands the American dream. She understands all that. And so when I look at what she's bringing to the table, the only thing I've ever said about it was I don't think she's particularly likable.
But do you think the vast majority, and this is the question, the majority of Americans think that? That's
She's
the question.
going to beat
Why?
the brakes off of Donald Trump because before, while Joe Biden was running, people were voting against Trump. Now, and young people were going to sit it out.
That's right.
Because both
That's right.
candidates were old.
That's right.
Now, people are motivated to vote for Kamala Harris. There's a difference.
And twice as many of
and
those
you
have
can-
come into voting
and you
age.
can feel the difference in the energy. And the young folk are no longer sitting it out because they got two old candidates. And guess what? When you now see Trump on TV and then you see Kamala Harris on TV, Trump looks old.
Yeah, he looks right. He didn't look as old against Joe.
He did.
Well, he looks old as fuck
There
now.
are dead people who didn't look old when Joe was running. Okay.
I'll tell you who's not going to vote for him.
Who?
For crypto folks,
Not gonna vote for who?
Kamala.
Well, so here you go. Glad you mentioned that. Because Trump, Trump.
Anti.
No. So hold on. No. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. And I have a little bit of knowledge to speak on this piece. So, Donald Trump realized somebody whispered in his ear and told him that there are 50 million Americans who have a Bitcoin wallet, right? And many of that 50 million are single issue voters. And I've been in chat rooms and talked to a lot of folks that are crypto enthusiasts, and they're like, I can't stand Donald Trump. However, if he's going to be making Bitcoin a reserve asset, he's going to drive Bitcoin to $1 million of Bitcoin, and that's my retirement. I'm voting for him, okay? Now, that became a talking point. That became a thing. Trump came to Bitcoin Nashville last week, and Robert F. Kennedy, of course, has always been pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin. But for a variety of reasons, he ain't getting no, he's an independent, he's not getting no traction. Joe Biden started softening his stance on it. That's why Gary Gensler allowed for the Ethereum ETF to be approved. They've backed off and settled and dropped 2 cases against crypto companies because they realized when Joe was running against Trump, this thing was going to be won on the margins. And 50 million is a big margin that could be in play in that crypto piece. Now, Kamala is already moderated, and her team has been telling her, you've got to get a moderated strategy on the whole crypto piece because it is huge. Now, who are crypto advocates more than Trump's old ass? Young people. And that's who is following. Now, it's going to be very important that Kamala puts out a piece in her platform with her new VP about how they're going to, and all the crypto community wants is regulation, fair regulation that doesn't drive innovation offshore somewhere else.
Certainty.
That's it.
They just want certainty.
That's it.
Who should she pick for a vice president?
Good question.
And why?
I think Mark Kelly.
White boy.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I mean, I don't care that he's white and that he's male.
Yeah, I think.
Does him being white and male matter?
Yes. Yeah, it does. I mean, because yeah, it does. And the reason it does. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Forgive me. No, please. No, does it matter?
Well, America's not blind, so I do think it would sway some people who aren't confident that a black female is going to be able to win. Of course, she's not going to just win on her own. She's going to have a running mate. But I think also if you look at the types of people right now that are in the running, some of them are white males, but I would probably argue the reason why she's choosing them isn't solely because they are white males, but because they provide something else. They are the governor of Pennsylvania, like a lot of the people that she's looking at, they sit in swing states. That would be very helpful for a Democratic Party.
Definitely.
Or there's this one guy who used to work at NASA and
Mark Kelly.
Mark Kelly, yeah, and he talks a lot about immigration, and immigration is I think a point for the Democratic Party that we've typically shied away from.
Can I add another piece to that piece?
Sure.
So Mark Kelly not only is on a border state, right, which is dealing with the whole immigration piece, which is an issue. He's got a perspective that's really, really relevant. On top of that, because Trump and them are going to bash Kamala on the fact that the immigration piece has been a clusterfuck. But on top of that, he also was an astronaut.
Yes.
He also was a military veteran, several tours in Desert Storm. But more importantly, his wife had the seat that he has, Gabby Gifford, who was shot by random gun violence and fortunately has recovered, and he took her seat and then got reelected. So not only is he an advocate of gun control, understands the violent piece, is a war veteran, decorated, and an astronaut. He brings all that to the table, which is for white folks who are like, I don't know about her, but I could see him being president if something happened to her. And that's why I think he's got a lot. He can bring in, he can add to the people that will support her. Josh Shapiro, who I like a lot, the problem with Josh, and I don't know that it's a current problem, but old school folks, right? They used to be very concerned about, folks who were Jewish being, presidents, old school folks, because they're like, well, they're going to put their faith above, the country.
That's already happening.
No, well, I mean, but I think that younger folks don't care about that. I don't think that they focus on that.
Care about what?
I don't think that they necessarily will think that. You think they will think
Care
that?
about the Israel situation?
No. They do care about that. They do care about that. Oh, absolutely. They do care about that. Absolutely.
That's
So they think
that's a drawback to Shapiro.
I think
that
that's
he's
probably
Jewish
right.
And the Middle East is on fire.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
And Biden's policy was, we're going to talk out of this side of our neck, and then we're going to let you do whatever. We're going to send you the weapons to kill people, but we don't want you to use them to kill people.
Right. So Kamala just met with Netanyahu, and
standing ovation on the Senate floor.
Well, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But she told him that, we're still supporters, but you need to get a ceasefire done. And she didn't attend that his speech on the Hill. And Trump, of course, came back and said, I think it was very disrespectful what she did. The way she treated you was horrible.
Clearly, if Trump gets in office, Israel can do whatever they want to do.
Absolutely.
Period.
There's no question about that. No question about that.
I hope Kamala wins, man.
We swayed you.
No.
Okay.
He said she had his vote.
I know. The MAGA hat threw me off. When
he was just going to hold his nose and close his eyes.
Yeah, I hope she wins because I don't know who I was telling this. I went through my memory of what it was like with Trump in office and all the things he actually did.
Right.
And I was like, whoa, this guy is actually insane.
Right.
But I think that's why I'm really trying to push for more critical thinking around the Kamala thing, because I'm like, again, I mean, we're talking, but she's got to be extremely strategic going into this thing.
So you're talking more about critical thinking around her vice presidential pick, right? Because she is who she is.
That, but also, but
her campaign.
And her campaign and the rhetoric and not alienating some of these special interest groups, gun rights, crypto. I mean, all that stuff.
I think she knows. Well, I don't know what she knows. Of course, I don't know her personally.
You talked to her this morning.
But
Stop
can you
lying.
imagine? I do know that she has a lot of really big supporters, and she has a lot of people who are around her during that time when she was the attorney general, and then when she ran in 2018, did the book thing, was senator, whatever. And so I do think that they are somewhat acutely aware of the things that went wrong in 2019 in her campaign and try to do it differently. I think also it's important for us to realize that it hasn't really started. So we have all these things that we think about her, and that's based on her history, and then these perceptions that we have of her. But it'll be up to her to I think solidify the deal to be like, yes, I deserve to have this spot. There are many people who believe it's kind of just fallen in her lap, and we need just anyone that's not Trump. But I think she really could be more than just anyone that's not him. I think she has the possibility of doing amazing as a president, and who she picks as her running mate will be a defining factor.
Yeah,
but why do you guys feel like? And I don't care. Why do you guys feel like Trump is so behind? I just don't see it that way.
I didn't say he was behind. He's not behind.
I feel like it's a lot more evenly.
The polls got him even.
Neck and neck. Yeah, but
he's gonna get.
She's closed the gap between Biden. She's closed the gap between Biden.
He's going to get smashed. And the problem with him getting smashed is we're going to have to go through 60 more lawsuits claiming that the election was stolen. They've got the Republicans who basically controlled most of the state legislatures have put in place a lot of requirements for voting. You got to have ID.
Another Bush situation.
They are making it very easy to purge people from the voter registrations rolls. They're making it and this is legislation, they're making it easy for people to challenge other people's qualifications to vote. So there's a lot of that going on. It's always gone on. And I think it's going to be, a more concerted and a more organized effort to disenfranchise people. And he's still going to get smashed.
Why do you keep saying that?
He's going to get
I hear you, but why?
Listen, O just gave you some statistics. Okay. Young people have moved into voting age.
Okay.
They weren't there before.
All right.
Now they have a reason to vote. They weren't gonna vote because both of the guys were old. Kamala's not old. They think that she has a vision for the future. They're going to vote for her. They weren't gonna vote. The whole mood is different. I felt it. It was just like as soon as Biden was inaugurated, I started watching ESPN again. Yeah. I didn't watch ESPN for 4 years.
You're right.
I was pissed. I was worried that the country I lived in was going to implode.
Every day, man. So, and look, but here's the other thing. Here's what I also like about Kamala's campaign, her campaign. So Trump's been trying to try out these names for her. He likes to brand people with some shit. So Lion Kamala. Oh, he says Kamala. But he doesn't say her name right. Disrespectful as fuck. But he could say Lion Kamala. And so they took Trump's shit. And her campaign is now every time, and they've done these memes now where every time he says Lion Kamala, they do a lion's mane around her head and have a lion's roar. So she's a lion Kamala, you know what I mean?
He's changed it to crazy.
Yeah, well, he's got to do something else.
But these are they have no substance.
No,
right?
But that's what he does.
That's exactly right. So,
but they spin that around and mock him. That's what.
But the problem is it works, and that's why
it works.
That's
well, it has worked for him.
What has worked
for him? For Trump,
I think it's worked for him, but I really don't think it's going to continue to work in the future. You know, if you put someone that's not really saying anything in front of a 2-year-old and you ask them to have a debate, then obviously the person that's not really saying anything is going to win.
You said Biden was 2?
Wait, how does it not work?
That's kind of harsh. I thought we weren't disparaging old people.
I thought you weren't going to say anything bad about Biden.
What do we mean it's not working? He secured the Republican nomination.
Because he controls the Republican Party. party.
If you
Not
ran
because of name
for the
calling.
Republican Party, you probably would have secured it. The point of what I'm saying is I'm not comparing
I wish you
Trump to
had, though.
Biden. I'm comparing Trump to pretty much no one else. He didn't really have anybody else that was.
He didn't have a
running.
platform.
He didn't have a platform.
No.
He didn't really have anyone else that was running against him that like held particular significance for the Republican Party. And I think that when you look at Kamala in the way in which she's running her campaign, they're taking all of these stupid things that he's done that have been helpful, I think, for their party, and eventually it's not going to be helpful. But if you look back throughout her campaign strategies for other campaigns that she's been in, this isn't abnormal. She did this during other running periods, and it worked in her favor, and so I think that she's going to continue to do it again. And lastly, I think she has the intellect to back it up when they have this debate that we've just been waiting
He's
for
not
this
going
date.
to debate her.
I think also what
He's got to.
he has to, and I think also what Kamala represents
No.
is consistency. There are
He is
people
afraid.
that typically
And
vote
he should be.
Republican that are not, I think, that would vote Democratic because they just want a return to normalcy.
He's going now. I tell you that now. I'm not as confident as Sherman is that she's going to smash him in the election, but she is going to tear him a new asshole in the debate.
There's no question
In
about
the
it.
debate, she's going to rip the frame out that motherfucker.
Because she's got facts and receipts, which are two things he doesn't have.
She's already started. I was a prosecutor for a long time, and I know convicts, and he's a convict, so I know his type.
Oh, and by the way, she's good at playing the dozens.
Oh.
Now he thinks he can play the dozens just by calling people names.
No.
Oh,
no.
she is getting ready to tear him
a
a
new,
new one.
Absolutely. No question about that.
Is there a debate scheduled?
No, because he already monitored. He said, we're not gonna have
The
a debate.
only way I'll do it is if it's on Fox and there are foxes in the room.
He already said he's not doing it at this point. He's not going to schedule one because they don't even know whether or not she's going to be the nominee. He's not going to do it with somebody who's
Because
not the
technically
nominee.
she's not the nominee. I mean, at first it was that he didn't want to have
And
it.
neither
at
was Joe
MSNBC.
Biden.
That's right.
Biden was technically
Yes.
not the nominee.
Yes.
Not the nominee.
I mean,
Yes.
You have the
obviously
convention.
he's saying this because
He's
scared.
afraid.
Of
He's
course,
scared.
He's afraid of her, and I think he should
He
be
should be
afraid.
afraid.
I think that he really needs to debate. Otherwise, it's kind of just like eroding this democratic system that we've all been a part of
Supreme
and
Court is
loved.
already doing that shit.
I feel like y'all really underestimate poor white people.
No, but see, you know
No, I
what? You
don't
know what one of my
underestimate
boys
I feel like
said.
y'all really underestimated poor white people.
One of my boys said
No,
it ain't
no.
just the poor white folk either.
It's
one of
not. It's
one of my
not.
boys said, you know what, Sherman, you got all this confidence in Kamala. He said, but I think you really underestimate how much white people hate us in this country.
Yeah, no, that's right.
That's what I'm. That's,
like,
I mean,
yeah.
that's what I'm trying to say. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
y'all are really. I'm like,
this-
No, I mean, I'm
This
not.
is where we need our usual co-host who will say, white people don't hate black people in this country.
really?
You all just think they do.
What? No, pretty sure.
Yeah, I can see him saying that.
It's, it's in your mind.
No, I can see him saying, they may, but I don't care about that. I don't give any life to that.
I really miss his perspective.
Yeah, well, shit, that's why we need him here. Where are you?
Hey, Kamala,
I'm right here.
Kamala.
But I will say this: I'm not underestimating anybody. I don't have the confidence that Sherman does that she's going to win this election running
I
away.
hope she does.
I hope she does. I pray she does. But I will tell you. I will tell you the only way that she can is if everybody turns out the way that they turned out for Obama. Both
Don't you
of the times
feel that
he won.
energy though?
Yes,
Don't you
I
feel that
it.
same energy?
Yes,
Who are
I
y'all
do.
getting this energy from?
Don't worry about it. If you don't feel it, you ain't part of it.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay?
Yeah,
But I'm
I do.
telling you,
Because again, I'm looking at now. Again, I'm watching the 170,000 volunteers within a week. Right? That doesn't impress you.
No, because
$200
here's my
million?
here's my concern. Here's my concern. We had all of this same momentum with Hillary. Now Hillary isn't Kamala. I understand.
No. Okay. So let me address that. Let me address that. You're right. We had that. However, here's what happened right before the election, when the Justice Department came out and brought in this whole thing about Hillary having this shit that Comey and all them did that put the whole country saying, oh shit, she did some shit that was wrong and shit.
About the emails?
All that shit.
Benghazi.
All that shit.
Benghazi.
And all of a sudden the momentum shit like, well, we don't want to put somebody who might have broke the law in as a president, and her whole shit shifted.
You really think it's gonna break? Trump done broke how many laws?
Yo, man, it's a whole different thing.
Listen, there was not this feeling of energy, motivation.
No.
With Hillary Clinton.
No.
You think people don't like Kamala Harris? They did not like Hillary Clinton.
Oh, yeah.
Not only because she was a woman.
Entitlement.
But because she was married to Bill.
Yeah.
And the one thing they don't want is for people to have successive presidencies in their family. Now, the Bushes, they were an exception. A guy related to Bush signed the Declaration of Independence. So, they've been in here forever. But I'm telling you, there was not this energy. It was certainly a different energy from Barack to Hillary. And the energy I'm feeling now and that I'm seeing is similar to the energy I felt when Barack was running.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I agree with that.
Swept it.
Where I'm serious. Is this like a Twitter thing or like?
There's also
No,
I mean
no,
no.
It's like your community.
I can still watch ESPN.
No.
We are at a completely different time than we were.
That's my measure.
So wait a minute. But hold on, Big. I'm concerned because I am seeing this groundswell. I am seeing this energy. Aren't you seeing this energy?
Of course.
Of course.
I'm a part of it.
Yeah, well, you are. There you are. You're leading it. And then we got you. So I'm just curious, why are you
to be fair, I'm in Spain, right? So like,
You're living in Spain?
I'm living in Spain.
Oh, and that's why you don't see it?
Well, that's why I'm asking. I'm not. It's not because I literally am here for 2 weeks. So I'm like, where?
That was a critical piece of information.
Yeah, that would have been nice to know.
But hold on. But this is why I think my perspective matters, because I'm just looking at what the candidates are saying, and I'm like,
oh yeah. See, you're not here though. Okay. So,
yeah, but they're still saying completely different things. I think even when Hillary Clinton was running, there's a type of baggage that she has that Kamala doesn't carry. We're also in a bigger time of desperation than we were when she ran. So I think that's why this is completely different. And then the newness, I think gets everyone excited, and that's why you're seeing the perspective that you may have seen when Barack Obama was running for the first time.
I agree. I mean, I think that energy.
That's good to know. That's why I'm genuinely asking.
Yeah, no,
I'm not being. I'm not.
So now it makes a lot of sense, because I was saying because we're all of the same accord that there's a lot of energy and we're seeing it, feeling it, it's happening. But you're in Spain. I didn't know you were in Spain for last year, and you're only here for 2 weeks. Yeah. That explains why you are out of the mix.
I literally got here last Friday.
Oh, that explains it. Yeah. Well, so let's tell us.
I kept trying to say I'm not being away. I'm genuinely like I support. I don't know. I don't see. I don't see it.
Yeah. So you
are gonna vote.
Yes, I'm gonna vote. I literally checked my voter registration today after you sent me that crazy video. I was like, man, let me make sure I'm. I literally went to the Maryland. I was like, let me make sure I'm registered to vote.
Hey, I'm glad. That makes me feel good.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
but
we should be very afraid.
I'm asking, is this like a social media thing?
No, I'm going to ask you to share that with 10 people.
No, but where is the end? Like, is this like people y'all are talking to? Like, where? Like,
so here's what happened.
Okay.
Joe Biden said, and then he backed. He said gave his support to Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
The next day, there were 50,000 black women on a Zoom call.
Whoa.
And they raised over
$50 million.
$50 million.
Wow.
The day after that, there were 50,000 black men on a Zoom call, and they raised another $50 million.
Wow.
Okay. After that, there was 178,000 new volunteers volunteering to do the groundwork. Thus far, and it's only been, has it been a week?
A week.
It's been a week. She's raised over $200 million, which is more than anybody has ever raised.
Which is more than Barack raised.
She's breaking records.
Which is more than Barack
records.
Obama raised in his entire campaign at the high water mark.
Okay, and so now she's got all of these special interest groups, unions, AFSCME, and everybody is just like all behind her saying, this is the person that we want to lead the country. And what does Trump have? The Heritage Foundation, okay? The NRA, two of the most hated organizations in the country. And, of course, he's got Republicans who are going to vote religiously. Even if you talk about their mama, you talk about their wives.
I see. I hear. I understand now the energy.
And that does mean something. And he has
That's
Elon.
right. He does have Elon Musk.
Yeah, you got Elon
He's
Musk.
got Elon Musk.
got
Don't
Elon
forget
Musk.
he's got the richest guy in the world.
Nah, but there are a couple. Who's the guy that just came out?
Lots of
That is-
celebrity. Ooh,
He does
Axl
have-
Rose. Ooh.
Oh, Tom Brady, all those folks. They're the
He
conservative
does have
folks.
some celebrity.
Oh, that's right. Tom Brady had to
I'm
get a
telling you,
divorce.
I'm
in order
telling
to
you, a
support
lot
Trump.
of the
Yeah.
especially the money, the white money,
Yep.
that whole like block is with him.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yes, but they will always be with them in the
And they
same
were.
way that there's always going to be people that are incredibly progressive and incredibly liberal that are always going to vote for Democrats. I think the main piece that we have to talk about would be the people that don't typically vote. We have seen that there are a lot of people who never vote and that are going to register. I think that matters. And again, these white women that when they voted for Trump were voting for Trump because that's what their husbands asked them to do. Will they have the incentive this time to vote for him again? And I don't know.
Hell no.
They already started that
Typically,
divergence.
when we vote, we vote out of anger.
Hell no.
And I think this time around, the voting isn't just out of anger to stick it to someone else. You're also voting for hope. You're voting for a better future.
That's right. That's right. I think that's right. I
does
think
Kamala present hope?
Kamala, don't be like Trump.
Stop it. Does she present hope for a better future? And if she does, what is it?
The hope for a better future, from my perspective,
Yes.
is that it's not going back to that fucking chaos that we dealt with for
Well,
4
that's
fucking years.
I agree with that. I'm with you
but
on
listen-
that
but
one.
That's the better future I'm talking about.
So,
That's the current.
fuck?
That's
so
the current reality.
visually, the hope for a better future just can be seen. The fact that a woman who is a minority can be president gives hope for a better future for women who are minorities.
And little
that's-
girls
that's
that can
just-
look and say, I can be president.
That's just
What
visual.
what about the
but
white
the
majority?
policies, listen, the policies,
In 2
are-
years, the white majority won't be a majority.
listen, if she continues what Biden has started in terms of infrastructure, in terms of clean energy, right? In terms of prescription drugs being less costly, right? If she continues just those 3 policies, that's hope for a cleaner and better future. This country is on fire, dude. There's a huge fire, in California because the dude pushed his car down a ravine. And the whole state.
I think that Vic has a good point. On one aspect, you have a black female or black Asian female that represents hope for a bunch of people who look like her. I think that's great, but I also really think that's part of it. And part of the reason that I think that Vic has a good point is because we haven't really seen what she's going to do. The campaign hasn't started. And if you look back to when she was running in 2018, part of the issue that she had was getting a lot of money, and that translated into a lot of support. And part of that reason is because she didn't have a very specific platform that she stood by. Yeah. When Bernie Sanders ran, then we all knew that it was about national health care. And that was the same for Elizabeth Warren when she was doing stuff with foreign policy. But when Kamala ran in 2019, she didn't have a clear platform or a clear vision. People would go to her rallies and they would really like her, and then they would leave feeling energized. But energized in what, And so I think part of this turning point for her would be to say, I know what I messed up in 2019, and this is what I'm going to do for the American people. And I'm going to show it in my campaign, and that's what I'm going to do moving forward. Of course, she's going to take on some of the things that Joe Biden did during his presidency, but she does need to create a name for herself, and I think that's where a lot of the apprehension is coming from. People like her, but they don't really know why they like her.
Yeah, it's just like, you just seem cool. I'll say it. She seems like a good person, like a cool.
Yeah, you want to hang out and have a brew with her,
Yeah,
right?
but I'm like, I literally don't know what her. Look, I think I was talking to somebody that I was like, yo, on the coast, we're so educated, we forget that the vast majority of Americans are actually uneducated. I think like a bachelor degree is like 40% of the nation. Yep. Anything higher than that is like 20%. Like, there's a lot of uneducated people in this country. And when you start articulating these like really clean, and they don't know, they want to bring coal back. They want to bring manufacturing back.
My granddaddy worked in the coal mine. He died of black lung. My daddy worked in the coal mine. He died of black lung. I've got every right to work in the coal mine and die of black lung.
Yeah, I mean, but they fed them.
But I do think that she's able to do it. I mean, once she decides to pick a vice president, and I think that maybe that vice president will probably be a white male, I don't believe she will be picking him because he's a white male. I think we really need to step away from these.
She better.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think that we need to
Whitmer
step away from like this rudimentary way of thinking. She needs to be a president because she's a black female. He needs to be vice president because he's a white male.
Yeah.
People think in rudimentary ways.
You know, so
as a country, sure,
politics.
some people think that way, but at the end of the day, the people who are voting, when you turn on the television, that's not what they're saying. Like, vote for me because I'm a black female or whatever. It's more than that. So I think once she solidifies her campaign, and hopefully it will be not in 2018 I think it was like for the people or something, but the problem is that nobody really understands what that means.
Yeah, Kamala Harris for the people. That's what she
They
said
like
every
make
time she
America
went to court.
great again.
Yeah, no.
But he
love
had
that.
specific policies. The issue
that
is that
shit what
what
it
she
used to
wanted to
be.
do didn't tie to specific policies. And I think that's almost a little less valuable here because she's not running against anyone other than Trump. And I do think that probably all of us at this table are going to vote for her, regardless of whether she solidifies something like foreign policy or Medicare for all or abortion rights. I think that she will still get votes from a lot of people regardless. But I do think that the people need to know the specific things that she wants to do throughout her presidency.
I want to
Make it catchy.
respectfully
Make it catchy.
disagree with you.
Uh-oh.
White women are not going to vote for the 52%.
You don't think so?
52% of white women voted for Trump. 52% of white women are going to vote for Trump this time as well.
I
Even with the
still
abortion
think
stuff?
it'll
Y'all
be
can't
different.
count on white women because
I don't
rich
think
white
that's
women
it.
are going to be able to get safe and effective abortions.
Yeah.
It's the poor white women that can't get abortions.
Yeah,
You don't have to have
I
them
think
in-
it's gonna be the same.
I think
52% of white women gonna vote for Trump.
Again, you
I
have
don't
to
think
look at
so.
the white women, these wine moms, the people that weren't voting before, that were staying at home with their
Now,
children.
what's the wine mean? Is drinking wine?
Literally.
I guess.
Suburbia.
I think they will. And I think that you have seen it already right now in her campaign. When you look at the people who are volunteering, you do see a lot of white women. I think of
they're gonna
course,
vote for
there are going to be some
They got
white
wine
women.
bottles in their hands.
I think with
I'm
all this reproductive health, it's gotten so extreme. I would be flabbergasted if white women did. I would be floored. That would literally, I'd be
Well,
floored.
those are the white evangelical women that aren't on
Well,
birth
yeah, of
control
course,
either.
of
So
course.
of course they.
Yeah,
they
but I'm
don't
talking
work.
about.
I think it's not going to be 52%.
No,
I think
it's
it's gonna be.
no
I think
way.
it's going to
I
be.
think it will be less than
I think it'll be
52%,
less,
but
right.
I
I think it'll
still
be
think
less.
it will be a lot of
It will
white
be.
women.
It will
That
be.
would be like me
but it will
voting
be
to
less.
like send more black men. That, like, what the heck?
That's right.
Yeah.
White women
crazy.
who are evangelicals, they gonna vote
Yes,
for Trump.
That's true.
White women who are straight Republicans, been Republicans since their granddaddy spanked them on their ass, they gonna vote for Trump. White women who are married to extremely rich people and white women who are extremely rich themselves, they gonna vote for Trump.
The white people.
I agree.
Rich
I don't
people.
disagree with that.
The poor white women who are uneducated and consider themselves to be in the flyover zone, who are all behind making America great again, are gonna vote for Trump.
They want to
I
feed
don't
their
know about that.
families.
I
No,
think
they
there
won't
are
feed their
still going to be a
families.
lot of white. I mean, it's like we're going on in a circle here. Of course, there's still going to be a lot of white women that fit into those specific
gonna be
categories
52%.
that are going to vote for them. And maybe it might be close to 52%. But what we have to account for, and I think what we have in this discussion, is to acknowledge the amount of millennials that aren't registered or
That's right.
weren't registered, that weren't going to vote, but
That's
now
right.
are going to vote
That's
because
right.
they identify in some way with Kamala Harris,
That's
who,
right.
in my opinion, is a lot more well-rounded, obviously, than Trump, but is more well-rounded than a lot of the candidates that we've seen. Even when she was running in 2019, there were, of course, other candidates, and I also think that that's what made it hard for her. But her ability to relate to different groups of people is going to be very helpful for her.
Well, she's not relating to me.
Well, you're in Spain.
What?
You're a little far out there, bro. How
Is
could
she-
you
But
be-
in what
listen,
way would you like her to
You
be
still
relatable
gonna vote
to you?
for her though.
I'm gonna vote for her over Trump.
That's all
There
she
you go.
wants.
Well, then,
That's all I want.
But I don't like that. I don't like that.
So, hey, look, listen.
I don't like the fact that she knows that she has.
I don't think she knows that Vic is going to
Stop it.
But you,
Oh.
I
No,
think
but-
she recognizes that the black vote is locked in, and so she's willing to say things and do things.
Why would
to-
she recognize that? Everyone talks about her time as a prosecutor and they completely don't like it. I mean, even Mike Pence, when he was talking to her during the vice presidential debates, he said that when she came into office as a prosecutor, the numbers were one way, and when she left the prosecutor's office, more black people were 19 times or something more likely to go to jail for lesser offenses. I don't believe she thinks that she has the black vote. If anything, I think that she's worried about it.
She needs to earn it.
She has called
No,
herself.
she don't. Y'all ain't here. Come on.
No,
She's
I-
called
Harris.
herself.
I
a
need
progressive-
her.
You're like, with
I
no,
need
with
her.
not a critical word to
I
say.
need her.
wait a
to-
minute,
No,
she's
but
already
it's-
heard my vote.
I know,
need
I can
her.
tell.
Did you see her? Did you see her
I like-
cross-examination of Bill Barr?
Well, I like your
Did you see
secrets.
a
You should see it.
cross-examination of Brett
You
Kavanaugh?
should see it. You should see it.
Dude, she is so qualified.
Again,
she,
it's
She's
more
a
than
black
that.
woman.
she is
I know.
so cool under pressure.
No, she is.
She's a bad
And that's
girl,
what you
man.
need. You know, when people come in and they say, well, I don't want to vote for this person because I can't relate to them, but I don't know. You know, there are some ways in which I could have related to Obama. I didn't particularly relate to Joe Biden at all as a black female. And it's not just relating to that person on an individual level. It's whether their policies are going to progress the nation and progress, you know, whatever type of mission that you have. And I think that she does that.
I actually said she was trying not to relate to me, not that I related to her. I think she's trying not to. She's actively trying to alienate me, is what I'm
How?
actually. I just
By saying she ain't gonna do nothing
How?
for black people
you don't
specifically,
need to say that.
and that's all. That's it.
It's not. That's not. First of all, that's not the first time I've heard something like that from her. But my point is that it doesn't need to be articulated in that way. I'm not saying that it's a problem that she's saying her policies aren't going to be geared just towards African Americans. Duh. My point is, what is the intention behind saying that?
Getting white people to vote for
And
her.
I don't like that.
Okay.
That's it.
But that's
it.
the game.
Well, I
That's
hear you, but I can say I don't like it.
You know what?
I don't like it.
That's fair.
You know what?
like
And
it.
guess what? I don't like the fact that people think that they really need to have this energy to vote. You know what I mean? I mean, the only time I've ever been really, really pumped and excited about voting was for Obama. The first time. The second time was just perfunctory. Yeah, I'm gonna vote any damn. I'm gonna vote for somebody.
No, I've had to hold my nose and vote for many of my
but,
elections.
You know, for people to say, people to say, well, I'm not excited, so I'm not gonna vote. That's insane to me.
That's some
You
bullshit.
think so?
Yes.
We're in a.
Yeah, I didn't like
really?
I didn't like everything
Yeah, I
Obama
voted.
Why
did.
would you be excited if you believe that no matter which way you vote, the outcome in your life, the net
I've
benefits?
always-
Hold
I've
on.
always-
We're not talking about you. If you are a high school educated person and you go and work in a factory every day, and no matter which way you vote, nothing changes, why would you care?
But that's
Because
wouldn't
why
be
would
the
you care?
reality.
something might change if I vote
I
for
also
this
think
guy
that's
Y'all
fair.
clear.
who's an asshole
I still
and
know
this
poor people,
guy
and that's not how they
who's
feel.
an ear hole.
But why do you believe that nothing would change? I do
You
really
have to go
don't
talk to those poor people.
I don't think that that's the reality. Of course, you do have to talk to those poor people, but I do want to note that one thing that Kamala is noted for is during her campaign going to these moms and pops places and sitting with the owners of these businesses, of talking with them. She has a reputation of being incredibly not just trustworthy, but really personable. So I do agree with you that you need to go to those places, but again, I think that she's shown that. I also think that there is a lot of her policies that would directly impact you. You know, people used to get on her because she said that she was a progressive prosecutor, which I don't entirely think is true, but we have seen her coming around. And I think that what can be really notable for someone that takes the presidency is the ability to change their mind and admit when they are wrong, and she has shown that she's done that.
I think this is beyond her, if I'm being honest. I think this is just a political system thing. So, like, I'm not actually blaming her or anyone for that matter. I think that ultimately people, specifically disenfranchised poor people, specifically disenfranchised poor white people, have lost faith, and not even just white people, but just generally have lost faith in the political system. So hold on, wait. So when you say, I just want to make this clear, when you say I don't understand why somebody wouldn't vote, for me, the way that rings is you don't really understand the vast majority of Americans, because a lot of Americans actually don't really think they net gain anything irrespective of how they vote. And that has nothing to do, you can vote, listen, we voted for, Hillary won the popular election, and she still ain't, George Bush stole the dang thing. Yep. You see what I'm saying? Like, come, let's keep it a bean.
I think that has a lot more to do with education and the lack thereof within our community. I mean, of course, if you think that everything runs on the popular vote, then you're never going to do anything ever. But that's a breakdown, I think, within our education system. And the only way to fix that is voting at the local level to make sure that doesn't take place. And then ultimately voting in the presidential election. So
I understand that.
I mean, the public school system is partially...
That's a long tail
to do with that.
You just really broke it down. Like, you really, that's a long, like, I don't think the average person is gonna have the let me not even say
that.
So
let me give you something that the average person can understand. Right?
Make America great again.
They can understand that shit, and they don't even understand that really. But there was a law partner in my firm that I used to work on cases with, and his theory, it was kind of successful, is whatever the other side wants, we don't want that. We're against that. Okay? Whatever they want to do, that's not what we want to do. How does that relate to voting? Why are they taking all of these measures to keep your ass from voting? Because they don't want you to vote. Why don't they want you to vote? Because it matters.
Yeah.
That's why your ass should be out there voting no matter who.
I'm not saying it doesn't.
But the average person can understand that if you're disenfranchising me, and I know that's a big word with it, if you don't want me to vote, then I should be voting.
That's right. Because
you
there's a reason.
Because
you don't want me to.
That is true.
But I do think it's true that what Vic is saying, there are a lot of millennials that don't vote, and the reason why they don't vote is because they don't believe that their vote matters.
Well, and I think they're not inspired. See, here's the problem. The difference is that when I was voting growing up, every candidate, it was the lesser of two evils, right? We had to vote because, and it was drilled into my head by my parents, that people died, gave their life for us to have the ability to vote. You will not disrespect the franchise and not take your ass to vote, because people died so you could vote. So you will vote. And so I had to hold my nose and pick a candidate, and it was a lesser of two evils. Now, once Obama got in, like Sherman said, that was the first time I actually voted for somebody I wanted to vote for and was excited. But then, after that, all these people that came of age during that voting period, I voted for Obama. I love Obama. It's great. I voted for Obama. Now they're like, I don't want to vote for anybody now because I don't like either one of them. I'm not going to vote.
He's too old for me to vote for him.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, and that's the problem now. That's why I am encouraged, because young people are like, okay, Biden's out, Kamala's in, I can vote for her. Because
I think this is why Democrats have been getting punished.
Oh, absolutely. They don't have a cohesive platform.
It's just like, it doesn't matter how you feel about how people think. That's how they think. And if you want to win, that's why I keep saying strategically. If you want to win, you need to appeal to people. This whole notion of like, well, you shouldn't be apathetic. Well, guess what? They are. And we need to appeal to people where they're at. It doesn't matter if you don't get it. It doesn't matter if you don't relate. It doesn't matter if you think it's wrong.
Okay.
And Democrats specifically, as of recent, from what I can see, it's this whole moral high ground. No one cares. We don't care about your moral high ground. That's why I think Trump has the advantage that he has anyway, because the truth of the matter is, Americans know they don't care about the moral high ground anymore. They want to see someone who looks like them, thinks like them, even if he don't. Trump isn't actually going to do none of this. Like, he can't, you know what I'm saying? He can't actually really help them. Net.
He's not even told them that he was going to help
I understand. Them. But you see what I'm saying?
He just said, I'm going to fix it.
Yeah.
Without saying
It's
what
true.
it is.
It's true. And I'm sorry, Democrats, like, I'm not a Democrat. I'm actually, if you ask me, I'm libertarian. But I am. And so for me, that's why I'm like, I'm not swaying each way. But the Democrats, it's almost like humility. It's like there's a lack of humility as it relates to the populace. I keep talking about like, yo, this country is majority white and majority poor. That is net. That's the largest group. How are you actually going to serve that group? It doesn't matter if you like them. It doesn't matter if you understand how they think. You got to know how you're going to serve them.
Right, but the Conservative Party hasn't been interested in serving super poor people. They're sort of just interested in serving a particular agenda that they have, and I think that's why a lot of Democrats are, sit in less economically developed regions or, make like minimum wage.
But they got the religious piece, which is a very powerful motivator, and they use it very effectively. You're not wrong. And they've got some really serious positions that align. First of which, I just said religion. Second of which is guns. And whether or not again, it doesn't matter how you feel about it. A lot of Americans think those two specific issues are really important. And so the Republicans get the vote. And there's this moral high ground. It just doesn't, to me, I'm like, yo, we've got to figure out a way to do what we got to do to get those people on our side while maintaining our position.
But
doesn't it strike you as ironic that the religious people are not on the moral high ground?
It is ironic. It is
Right.
very ironic. It doesn't make
That's what I was
sense.
gonna
That
say.
was the beginning of me being like, I don't get it, but it doesn't matter.
But I don't think those are the people that we're talking about or the people that we can really worry about, because they're always going to vote that way. People that are against abortion are always going to vote, just like the Democratic Party. Like, Kamala's not going to get up there and be like, actually, I think that nobody should be able to have access to an abortion. That's never going to happen for the Democratic Party. And so it would be the people in the middle that care about these things, but maybe care about some things that, care about other things more.
I think Vic makes a great point, and I do agree with him. The only thing I would say to that is that segment of the population is shrinking.
That's true.
Okay.
And
so of people that are gun toters and religious right and all that's shrinking, and the part of the population that's growing is the young, diverse, activated by George Floyd and all the things that happen in society and all that, and they're brown and they're not constrained by the hate and the rhetoric.
I don't know. There's the right, was specifically young.
They've been recruiting.
White men.
They've been recruiting.
That actually is growing.
Yeah, because there's a reason for that, but we don't have time to get. We need. All right, so
I'm gonna make a cameo before we go.
Damn.
So I know, like, the last election when Trump won, he didn't win because of popular vote. He won because of the Electoral College, right?
Yeah.
So how's that gonna play into this round with him and Kamala?
Yeah, well, you would pose a topic when we have 3 minutes left.
That's why the swing states are so important.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
No
exactly
question.
why the swing
Yeah.
states are so important. People now understand the Electoral College vote.
That's right.
And it's just like Vic said, Bush, Electoral College. Trump, Electoral College. They both lost the popular vote.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
the argument is that this is not a true democracy because,
That's what I'm worried
it's
about.
supposed to be that the majority of the will of the majority of the people.
Yeah, and that's why they've spent so much time trying to gerrymander and all those kind of things. And then there's been some wins that have been handed down by the Supreme Court this last term about, places that were gerrymandering that was found to be illegal, which
And
is,
that's why I think it would be helpful if the vice president came from a swing state.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and absolutely. I think that's right, and I think that makes sense. Well, look, obviously, we can continue to chop this up indefinitely, and we'll revisit this topic at some point in time. But we're going to put a wrap on this one. Thank you, Idrienne, for coming.
Thank you.
Our recurring guest, Vic, all the way from Spain.
Yes, sir.
And
Bringing the Spanish perspective.
bringing the Spanish perspective. That's right. And, next time, y'all,
All
we'll
right,
be
we'll
back
see.
at it. All right. Peace.